You've probably gone through this and it makes you feel like shit and you feel like you're bringing yourself down because of what is happening. Let me explain. You set yourself a timetable, you're studying, things are starting to click, you're doing past exam papers and things are working. You're getting into the habit of doing things and you're building up a little streak, right? And because you're open and you're a genuine person, you go and share that to your friends. Not like those other idiots where they say they haven't done any studying, but those are the sneaky friends, where but they've done 10, 12 hours. But you go and open and you tell your friends about it. And then your friends share that to you as well, share what they've gone through because, you know, they're being open as well, but they're not trying to do that to bring you down. And then they say they've done 2-3 times more than you, or they've done 50 exam papers or whatever. So in that moment, you feel like, oh shit, I feel a bit down now because now you thought you were doing good, but because you've heard from someone else that's doing more than you feel like shit. Do you feel that? Listen, it's completely natural. I used to remember when I was paying the studies, the hours, the work, or even getting jobs as well, and salary wise, everything. I thought I was doing good until then I compare myself to someone else, or someone else shares it with me. I'm like, bloody hell, man, I'm doing nothing, man. I'm not that great. Because you're always thinking about the other person who's doing more than you, or who's doing better than you. And it kind of puts your effort down. Everything that you've done, you bring it yourself down because you're like, oh, that doesn't matter because there's someone who's doing better. But this is where it is wrong. And this is where it brings us down, because this comparison, comparing ourselves with other people, is a very dangerous game. Why are we comparing? We're comparing because we want to feel that we're doing good. We want to compare because we want to get validation. We want to compare because we want to know that we're on a good level and we're doing better than other people. It's a human instinct. It's a human behavior. But the problem with that is when you compare yourself to someone else, especially someone else who's doing better than you, you're going to bring yourself down. Your confidence is going to start going down. You're not going to really feel like, you're doing anything great, even though you've put so much progress into what you're doing. And this is where you need to change that mindset, where I then realized to myself, like, okay, me comparing myself to someone else is not going to bring me any sort of benefit. Now, if I'm using that person as a competition where I'm like, okay, I would like to get to that level and I need to put this amount of work, fantastic, great, do that, because that gives you the motivation to put the work in. But if you're comparing it in a way where it's like, damn, this person is doing better than me, and you feel like shit, and that's where it gets dangerous. That's when you start losing that self-belief. That's when you start losing that self-confidence. And then you feel like everything that you've done has come to no fruition. You've got to understand that comparing yourself to other people is no benefit to you. It's only going to bring you down. It's not going to focus on your journey. Remember, everyone's journey is different. Everyone is wired differently. Just because someone else can do 5, 6, 10 hours a day doesn't mean that you have to do it. Doesn't mean that you can do it. That person is probably wired differently. That doesn't matter. When I was studying, listen, you might think I'm, this guy that understands everything. I don't. Like, especially when it comes to the sciences, I used to remember, man, I was that type of person that had to read again and again and again and again. I don't get things straight away. It doesn't work for me like that. Maths is a bit different because I think I'm more of a numbers person, so I'll be able to understand it. But when it comes to other subjects, I'm very weak. English, I can't do English to save my life, man. I literally can't. Like, maybe I'm better at speaking than writing. But when it comes to sciences, this understanding the theory and all that, man, I struggled. And when I see other people that were like, man, how is this guy understanding this so quickly? It made me feel like shit, because it made me feel dumb. It made me feel stupid. It made me feel like, damn, this guy is understanding it quicker than me, better than me. And here I am. I can't even figure out the first paragraph and understand what the first paragraph meant. But then I said, you know what? If I look at life this way, where I'm like always bringing myself down, where am I going to go? How am I going to get to the levels that I want? It's not the right way to doing it. And then I said, okay, focus on what you can improve. Forget about everyone else. So I shut everyone else. I said, you know what? There's no point of me asking what the other person is doing. There's no point of looking at what this person is doing. What am I doing and what can I do to improve myself compared to who I was yesterday or last week? Because last week I was a certain level. I want to get from this level to that level. So what do I do? So for me to do that, I need to focus on these things. And that's the way you should look at things. You should look at it in a way where you need to improve on certain weak areas that you struggle with. And then you keep a track record of that. Because if you're able to do that, trust me, you're going to see the progress. It's so easy for us to look at someone else who's doing better than us and bring ourselves down. But that's not going to get anywhere. It's going to bring you these negative feelings. It's going to bring you these feelings that you're just not good enough, you're not intelligent enough, you're not smart enough, and all these other excuses. But to be fair, they're complete rubbish. And when you start taking your life in your control and you take responsibility for your life, you don't need to ask other people. These days, I don't ask people. I don't say, oh, what are you doing? If they want to share it, they'll share it. If they ask me, I'll share it. I don't have a problem with that. But instead, I'm not going to tell them, oh, this is what I'm doing. There's no point. There's no need. You don't need to reveal what you're doing. You know what you're doing. That is enough. You don't need validation from other people saying like, oh, I've done this amount of hours of work or this amount of study. It's fine. Keep it to yourself. Because when you know you've done it, why does it matter what other people think? It shouldn't. And this is a problem that we have in society, where we feel that we need to get the validation from other people to make ourselves feel better. And I think I've said this in my previous video, where you don't need validation from other people. It's nice. Encouragement is different. Encouragement, yes, it's okay to get. That's fine. But for you to get validation, that means the rest of your life, you're going to be seeking validation. Imagine that. That's a bit crazy, man. To try and get validation every single stages of your life. You don't want that. That validation has to come from within you. So next time when you compare yourself, don't compare yourself with other people. Use those people that you want to be as a pedestal. As like, okay, this is the person that I want to become. So I need to do this. That's great motivation. And that's a great plan for you to use if you want to. But when you use comparison in a way where we all do, I've done it myself, that brings you down, man, it's really gonna be a downfall period there. You know why? Let me use this example, right? Even if it comes in salaries, people love comparing salaries and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna be looking at what you're getting, and then you're gonna be looking at what this person's getting, and you're seeing, okay, this person's getting that. So you're gonna be trying to work to that level or even get higher so that you beat him or her. Now, when you beat that person, okay, you've beat that person, but then you're gonna be looking at the other person. Can you see the treadmill? It's just gonna be a hamster wheel, whatever you call it. It's gonna be like this, a circular wheel that's just never gonna stop. You're always gonna be comparing yourself to someone who's doing better than you. Where's the fulfillment in that? Where's the peace? You're not gonna get any sort of peace, man. So I would say to you, when you compare yourself or you compare yourself to someone else, don't do that anymore. Cut them out. Just don't even ask. Focus on what you need to improve and what you need to do. Your life is very different to their lives. Their family is different to your family. You're wired differently to the other person. The comparison is invalid. There is no point, there is no need. The reason why we compare is the pressure that we get from society, the pressure that you're getting from the grades, or this person got 9 A stars, this person got 4 A stars. It is pointless. It is absolutely pointless. You should use it as a way to motivate you and work harder, fine. But if you're using it for other reasons, that's not going to bring the best out of you, you're wasting time. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday, 1 week ago, 1 month ago, and see how far you've come. Because at the end of the day, no one can lead your life better than you can. That is a quote. Everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.